8:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour. Our goal would be to go live all night long. So we'd like to do an overnight show where we go talk about Second Amendment beginning of the show, talk about guns in the middle, and then leave the show off or end the show with a kind of primer for the next day, things they need to know for the day ahead. I think that would be a cool project, and if you'd like to see something like that happen, consider being a Patreon. One of the people that subscribes to our project, there's links down at the bottom of the screen down here that take you over to our Patreon page where you can give us a cup of coffee, buy us lunch once a month, and when that accumulates, it helps us pay bills and lets us get a lot of work done. So we really appreciate the people that subscribe to what we do. That being said, we go live every weeknight. Every single weeknight, we do something different each night. We've got some goals with this show. We don't just go live for fame and fortune. We go live to accomplish some things, and we've been doing that over the years. This is episode 1505. So on Fridays, we take a look at what people have been posting throughout the week that focuses on what our Second Amendment protects. So throughout the week, we look at some of our own projects and we do some of our own stuff. And then on Fridays, we take a look at what other people are accomplishing. Our goal is to talk about it, chat it up, because they're getting good work done so that we don't forget about it. By saying it and talking about it and researching it, right, it helps to reinforce it in our heads and in our platforms and our projects, our websites and stuff. And that's the ulterior motive. As I listed here, and we're sharing the screen so you can see in the YouTube description here, we have links to all these different videos and different things. That's also going to be over on our Substack, which will open up into a new window here. And that's actually what we'll follow along with on the screen today. We'll take this information and post it on our Patreon page. As I mentioned, that's where you can subscribe to our projects, but it's also a fairly large social media platform, and we use it like our blog, since it gives us more formatting than the YouTube video, and it gives us different reach. Different people follow us there. It gives us an opportunity to put all these links that we're going to talk about today on all these different platforms. And that's another part of our goal, is to every week get people who are doing good work out there on as many platforms as possible. So let's dig in. Like I say, we have we're doing this live. One of the reasons we do this live is for the interactive nature of the internet. So thanks to the people that are joining us. We'll say hey to everybody in just a minute. We've also got a poll going, which is a way that you can participate tonight live. Now we're broadcasting to 3 different sources. We broadcast to 2 different YouTube channels, the big YouTube channel, Gun Websites, and then our channel that's just for this podcast. We also are streaming out to Twitter tonight. So if you're on one of those other places, the big YouTube channel is where there's a poll. If you want to go over and vote in the poll, feel free. We've arranged it with YouTube. I made a phone call this afternoon, and you can vote in the poll for free tonight only, and you're welcome. So the question is, how was this week for the Second Amendment? And comment why. So far, we've got quite a few votes, and we've got 1 vote, it looks like, for bad week, and all the remaining votes are tied for between great week and good week. So that's an interesting situation. If you want to comment on why, feel free. We're going to dig into the show today, and then we'll take a look at those comments as they're coming in. We do have a bunch of people joining us. We kind of started right on time today. That doesn't always happen, because somebody sometimes has to go outside, and I didn't take them outside today. So we started right on time. Worthwhile Fun was our first person out there tonight. Thank you for joining us and saying good because, but I don't know how you voted. That's the thing. And then we got Roy Waven. Good afternoon. DJ showing up. Good evening. And Anne Marie is out there also. So nobody else is here tonight, so it's just a show for y'all. Consider it one of those fancy movie theaters where you got a cushy seat and there's going to be somebody out to bring you some food and refreshments. Everybody else, I guess, is elsewhere tonight. So enjoy the show. We are going to dig into our Substack, which is sort of a nerd blog over here. And what we're looking at is the description of the video. But if I scroll down and you look at the description over here on YouTube, you're going to fall asleep. It's boring. You're in that fancy, cushy chair, right? It's nice atmosphere. You got something to drink, and that's a super boring thing to have to read. So you're going to fall asleep. So if we go over here to the, what do you call this? The Substack, boom, look at those nice graphics. All of a sudden you see everybody's thumbnails. So now it becomes much more interesting. Everybody stays awake. Win, win, win. So that's why we show off the Substack over here. It also gives us an opportunity to get these links out on a different social platform, and we do have people that subscribe to us over there. It's free, so feel free to. I think you can pay to. I don't know why you would, but if you want to, feel free. All right, Chicago Mike is out there. Good evening. And he's saying, be it bad because we can't buy ARs or buy pistols with high-capacity magazines. That's lame. I hear you. You don't have to be happy about living in that kind of infringements. All right, so with that, we're going to dig into our update for March 3rd. This is episode 1505. Got a couple of good things. I usually put them on the left side of the thumbnail. The Nebraska constitutional carry LB77. I heard it got past a couple of places, but still needs to go through a couple of more. So it's not over yet, but at least it's not, it's still in the running. You got Illinois' ban on suppressors is at risk. So for Chicago Mike, at least you got that going for you. It's a little calm in the storm. Then we got Missouri, SB 10, anti-red flag gun Seizure Act. So the anti-red flag gun Seizure Act, I can't say that word, Act is moving along, I believe, from what I understand. And then we got the West Virginia Campus Self-Defense Act was passed. That was signed by their governor, I believe. Unfortunately, we got Maryland going crazy. I didn't put in here Connecticut, sounds like, is going crazy. I found out about that after I put all this together. Brooke Cheney went live and talked about Connecticut and offered a run through of how to offer a testimonial for or against, in this case, SB1. And then we've got Hawaii putting up a New York State Rifle and Pistol Association response bill. I think there was one more, but we had a little incident earlier where I glitched out my browsers and lost most of the work I was doing when I assembled this today. So I might be missing something on the negative side there. This isn't all encompassing. It's just what I'm able to gather. I usually spend a couple hours putting this together or less. All right, so let's dig in. And as we look at these things, keep in mind, I usually have them sorted by the most 2A things, the most useful things, the most effective things that are happening each week at the top of the list for people that are just here for a little while. And then as we go down, it's still more 2A than anything else that happened all this week. It's just less 2A than the start of the video. So definitely weight these things to be top heavy. Got more people jumping in. Standard capacity sounds better than high capacity from Steve. I agree. Anne Marie saying thank you, appreciate it, saying hey. And then Pat is saying, what is this? Some kind of pug? Good. Some congressional reps joining in the fight against the ATF race. Oh, okay, good. I hear what you're saying. You're saying it's a good week because there's some congressional representatives joining in against the brace. I hear that. So also I see that you got a pug going on there. We have a pug over here that we've appropriated for use in this show. Let me come up here. I wake him up for the show. I found this pug laying around on the streets. So we use him as a co-host on this show to be cute. So we have a level of cuteness that exceeds most other, I would suggest all other Second Amendment podcasts that are out there. I got a little hat I could put on him. I have a tiny sombrero I could put on him if we need to actually have some kind of cute off. But I appreciate the pug icon out there. I'm obligated to noticing pugs now. And this dog has only ever met one other pug, so this is essentially a virtual pug meetup. So Worthwhile Fun is saying Missouri anti-red flag bill had a hearing, but committee hasn't voted yet. Okay, thanks for the update on that. But thank you for being there, because as we go through the list here, the first thing we're going to talk about is Brooke Cheney, who does the suicide prevention Saturday. It sounds like because there's been an uptick, whatever you call it, a swing, a rise in the number of homicides and murders in the United States, there's more murders, so that means suicides are a smaller percentage than they used to be. Suicides are now about 56% of the firearms related deaths in the United States, depending on where you get your numbers. So a majority of the firearms deaths in the United States, more than half, and until recently, 2/3. So almost more than 2 out of every 3 deaths with a firearm were suicide. And we know that they use every death with a suicide in their numbers of murders and crime and violence with firearms. So they use suicide against gun owners constantly. Being able to have better conversations about that and being able to affect awareness in others and prevent others from having that kind of results from stress is ultimately important, ultimately useful, and ultimately effective. So Brooke's effort, a consistent effort on this each week, is by far the most useful thing that happens each week. Better than complaining about every right or every slight against us or complaining about every black eye. Education has changed the playing field, and awareness offers education. By sharing awareness, you give others the opportunity to learn for themselves, and that's what Brooke is offering here. At the same time, she's offering the optic for people who aren't paying attention and who are discovering or exploring or researching firearms for the first time. She is offering real commitment and time on the clock for the prevention of deaths. Everyone else is complaining about rights and jumping on the bandwagon and making t-shirts to bitch about, complaining about whatever. And Brooke's out here changing things, getting things done, giving people resources to have better conversations, and more importantly, to change the playing field going forward. Along those lines, another person who's out there getting things done is Susan, out in the chat tonight. Worthwhile Fun at Missouri's. I don't know if you have to go to the Capitol or not. I'm guessing it's the Capitol, but going to the legislature and testifying for an anti-red flag gun Seizure Act. It would be easier for me if Missouri would just call it an anti-gun control act, and then it would be easier for me to understand it. But red flag laws are bad, so we want to be anti-red flag laws. So this is good. Anti in this case is good, and appreciate you going there to be part of this. The red flag laws are definitely a sleight of hand, a new tactic, an old tactic that's being rehashed by the antis. And the more resistance we can offer, legitimate, real resistance we can offer, the sooner they'll take that off the playing field. So your efforts are helping us to do that. Jefferson City is the capital of Missouri. I'm pretty sure it's Springfield, so you might want to check into that. Don't mean to mansplain, but pretty sure it's Springfield. Let's see. So now we'll go down to Kayla, James' daughter, who's really cool. I met her years and years and years and years ago when she was youngin', and now she's testifying for Tennessee's Congress, both Senate and House, getting it done. We got puppy update over here. Puppy has woke up and is spinning around, doing his co-host duties. He's going back down to sleep again. Putting it back down at the bottom. All right, so then we get the reload. Should gun suicides be counted as gun violence? So this is where I discovered, wish that was a 7-minute trip instead of a 2.5 hour. That's crazy. So thanks for doing that. So in other words, is that like 5 hours each time you're going down to testify? That's definitely appreciated. All right, next up is the reload, and they had this guy on, some lawyer. I think he works for FPC. They were making it sound like everybody knew who it was, but they weren't saying who it was. So I'm guessing it's FPC or else it's GOA. Either way, maybe it's SAF. He's a lawyer for somebody, but he was not representing them. Oh, snap. Thanks for the $10. I did get monetization back. We're about to do some giveaways. Let me use that as a thing to remind me to bring over these things. Use the co-host here. We've got She Fires. I don't know if she's out there tonight. Is getting a free patch. And then we'll do a super chat thank you for the super chatters. So got all these patches in the come on, man. We got all these patches in the running for tonight. Bunch of different ones. You'll be able to pick your own free patch. So if anyone wants to buy stuff from the Gear website store while we're live, feel free. And you've got all kinds of free patches for free, and we'll knock stuff over. Puppy will verify that everything is on the up and up as we do the free patch giveaways here in a bit. But thanks for the super chat. Do appreciate the money, and thanks for the reminder to thank people who help support what we're doing over here. All right, so this is where I learned that the suicide thing is supposedly the rate, I guess, is at 55 something percent. So I don't know if that's true or not. We'll have to ask somebody in the know about that. It sucks that it's going down and as a rate, but only because murder is going up. It's not going down because there's less suicides. There's probably more suicides, unfortunately, but I'm not sure because I'm just guessing because the rate is, still higher on the suicide side. So anyhow, this was a pretty decent discussion. I'm kind of hot and cold or back and forth on the reload. This one was one of the better ones. Let's keep going. I should have had this one, but I had to redo this today, so I missed it. But this one should have been up with Brooks so that they were together. But she also did a update this week. Being anti-gun does not make you anti-violence. And then she just did one, like I mentioned, just before the show, a couple hours ago, about how to do the testimonial in Connecticut, which is definitely necessary. If you're in Connecticut, or if you know people in Connecticut, it's possible for them to do a testimony against the Senate, or whatever it's called, SB1. I thought it was from the governor, but whatever. They can testify against it remotely. They can testify against it from home. And Brooke shows you how to do that. All right, next up is Charlie, Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Has for episode 166 of his show, he's got Rhonda Mary on. I haven't seen this one yet, but I know it's going to be good. I'm always a fan of Rhonda. In fact, we're going to listen to Rhonda's video here where Rhonda Mary is talking about Rhonda Ezell from Chicago. And hopefully you can hear this. I'm going to turn the volume up all the way.
Y'all, it's Rhonda Mary with your Black History Gun Fact of the day. Rhonda Ezell wanted to protect herself after coming off life support and being the target of several break-ins. In her effort to follow Chicago's gun laws, she soon found that it was a system in place that made it very hard for people interested in legal gun ownership. Residents were required to have 8 hours of classroom training and range qualifications, but gun ranges in Chicago were barred for public use under city ordinance, which meant she would need to travel 50 miles to Dundee, Illinois from her home on the south side of Chicago. In 2011, in Ezell versus Chicago was challenged on its ban of gun ranges and live fire training facilities. Eventually, she won the case, But the city literally went and manipulated the zoning and construction rules just to prevent one from being built. In 2017, the case was taken again to the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. The court ruled that the zoning laws were unconstitutional. However, today there is still no gun range in Chicago. When Rhonda Ezell was asked why, she said because it would be a political thing, and also you have a lot of business owners that fear that they would be overtaxed because it's in Chicago. Today, Rhonda Ezell works continuously with her organization, Chicago Guns Matter.
Whoops. So what's cool about that also is Chicago Guns Matter is a website that explains how Rhonda took the city of Chicago to the Supreme Court twice and won. So instead of just bragging about it, she offers instruction on how she did it, at least. So like, and I don't know if it's the same steps for everybody, but she explains her steps. So yeah, Rhonda's pretty cool. Both Rhondas are pretty cool, but Rhonda Ezell is pretty awesome. And it's always good to see her get some attention. Let's see. Krabby saying best weekly 2A update. I don't know if there's any other ones, so I'll take the best of one. Let's see. 2.5 up and 2.5 home. Yep. Let's see. Everybody I knew from Connecticut left Connecticut. That'll happen. What is a good site to find information? The best place, so I just watch YouTube and I subscribe to a bunch of people that focus on it. The best place to get a intel dump on the regular is from the Heller Foundation on Instagram. So if you go to the Instant Grams and open up the Heller, so there's 2 different Hellers in our community. Charles Heller is here in Tucson. He's been around for a long time. And then Dick Heller is in DC, and he's the Heller Decision. So I don't know, is it the Heller? The Heller something. Is it Dick Heller? The real Dick Heller or something like that? I don't know what his thing is, but I'm not going to be able to find it if I'm looking for it. Let's see if there's anything posted by them. Sorry, getting caught up in some of the things in here. Looking for... They sometimes do them on the weekends, but anyway, the real Dick Heller or something like that. Dick Heller's Instagram. GOA and the other ones will tell you the back and forth and the this and that, but they're just going to tell you the headlines and the sky is falling stuff constantly. Dick Heller's thing is a little more of intel dump because you're going to get more range and less depth. You won't get 6 articles on the same thing. You'll get an article on 6 different things. But you still want to make sure you're following the big ones. It's just that the big ones are only going to harp on the stuff that they got lawsuits on or they got emails made up for. All right, so next we get the 2A Cops, awesome channel that's blown up recently with a bunch of haters trying to mess with them, and it turned viral on them. And they had a couple of videos this week. This one is talking about the credit cards and their concern about the credit cards, and then there's another one that talks about the Police Chiefs Association. Is it an International Police Chiefs Association? Some Police Chiefs Association, and they go through step by step as 30-year something or 29 something year police officers and challenge the different chiefs of police positions. And spoiler alert, all the chief of police positions are boilerplate and effectively wrong. Next up, we get Cheryl Todd, who's an awesome lady from the DC Project here in Arizona. She's the Arizona Citizens Defense League Foundation, the educational side of our AZCDL. She was testifying here in Arizona, and she's also helping to bring Faster Saves Lives to Arizona. So she was testifying on school safety recently. I guess it was HB 2705. And this is the DC Project posting it on their channel. So that's effectively how the DC Project works. The ladies go out and do stuff at state level, meeting the representatives during, I don't know how they do it. I imagine they schedule times when it's appropriate, when the representatives are most interested in accepting visits. And then times like this, when testimonials are necessary, they'll show up with able testimonies that have been thought out, researched, and practiced so that they can be effective. And then they represent the new face of gun owners, and they're doing it effectively. They're doing it with their teal shirts, as you can see in this picture. Cheryl, her daughter, and is that, that's probably... I don't know if I've ever even met her. I think I met her once. I don't know her name, but the lady who's the Arizona director, they're showing up and showing some solidarity with the shirts. And then once it happens at the state level, the national level DC Project can enhance or repost the events to archive and spread the word at a national level. So Anne Marie was asking, what is a good site to find weekly information? And I mentioned a couple of things on Instagram, and then Worthwhile Fun was answering if you're wanting national, or are you wanting national or state? Joining the DC Project will get you in your states group, and then the state director should keep her ladies on top of state level happenings. And that's a great resource, and I didn't even think of that. But each state does have a director, and those ladies are, as a group, connected and on top of all the different events that are going on or things that might be going on in a state. So at a state level, that's an excellent resource. I think I was offered, and I just don't get it, but I was offered the email from Arizona. I don't know if I don't get it for a reason or not. I got it once, and it was a pretty good email. All right, so then we got Marc Victor, who is Attorneys for Freedom here in Arizona. They've been attorneys for CCW people and gun people for a long time, and this is a kind of series where they're taking a look at the different personal liability protection opportunities, or what do you call them, like options that are out there. So they've done them on a couple. Marc has done these on a couple of different of the options out there, and takes a look at their contracts and kind of goes through as a lawyer and talks about the pros and cons. I need to take a second here and drink something. My mouth's getting super dry, so we're going to do a quick break for about 22 seconds and promote the show that I do with Tony Simon and Clover Tack on Saturdays. AskGunQuestions.com is a website that we built back in 2007, and since then, for the last 15 years, people have been able to ask questions of simple to advanced nature, and we attempt to answer them in different ways over the years. Join us now as we start a new series to answer gun questions. All right, so I don't know, is She Fires out there tonight? This might be too late. Local groups are awesome. That's true. All right, so if she fires it out here, you're picking your free patch tonight, so feel free to let us know, and then we'll do a random thing here in a bit. So let's see, next up would be the American Suppressor Association doing a quick video talking about the Illinois suppressor ban and how it's not looking good for Illinois, so it's good to hear. We had the Get Off My Lawn podcast, had a bunch of guests this week. They were talking about open carry. It's always an interesting discussion. It can be an interesting discussion, and when you get people on that are anti-open carry, it's one of those rifts. It's one of those cracks in the community. Some people just do not get open carry. And as much as I don't care about open carry one way or the other, I think it's something that people need to get past. If you're going to be worried about somebody else open carrying, how is that different than somebody else worrying about you carrying? Does that make sense? So if you don't want people to worry about you carrying a gun, why do you care if somebody carries a gun openly? It's some kind of stigma. Is that the right word? I think we got a stigma there. So it's cool to hear another conversation of that. I mean, being open-minded, it was like the zillionth conversation I've heard about it. So it's interesting to hear one in 2023, I guess, but I'm done for a while. I don't need to hear that conversation much more. All right, next up is Barbecue doing the review of this book. And your review is the one review I've heard from your perspective, and then most of the other reviews say that it's the best book ever and people are reading it over and over. Interesting, you be the judge. So Barbecue each month has a book that they read, and then they do a book review, like a bunch of nerds talk about a book they read. And he does that live. Another show that's live is Riding Shotgun with Charlie. He goes live with Meet the Pressers, Matt from Meet the Pressers, and they interview people that they've already interviewed. So they recycle their guests, bring them on as a joint interview. And this week they had Amanda Suffolcool and Rick Ector, who are both running for NRA Board of Directors. So if you know anybody who's a life member of the NRA, in the February issue of the magazine, the ballot comes out, and anybody who's a life member or a member for over 5 years is eligible to vote and encouraged to vote for, it's a lot, like 21 out of the 75 board members. Every 3 years, you vote for 21 people, and Amanda and Rick are both running for board this year. So if you're interested, plenty of people hate the NRA and will gladly hang out with Bloomberg when the NRA burns down. But if you're not one of those people and you can handle fighting against a guy who wears $27,000 suits instead of being, like, I guess, afraid of the guy with $27,000 suits, then consider voting for people who will go fight the guy with expensive suits. Let's see. Then we've got Chris, 740. We're start getting into the gun chat now. He had a chat about weapons lights. Another one that I've heard a million times, but it's interesting to listen to Chris's chats about that. It's less bickering and more talk, I guess. Most of the time when we chat about these things, it turns into a bunch of bickering from people that never even put a light on their gun. Or bickering from people that only put lights on their gun and not very much cross-pollination. So pretty interesting conversation this week. There was a logo contest. Gizzard was the winner. Like a lot of things, Gizzard was the winner. I guess that's a spoiler alert. Orbit Style did an interesting video for the ladies about having your little, what are you called? Your I can't think of the names now. The ties, I guess, and I don't know, bangles and beads and things. I don't know, girls wearing necklaces and bracelets and stuff. You always got to worry about stuff getting into the trigger. So instead of us mansplaining, here's a girl mansplaining to you about not putting stuff in the trigger when you're holstering. What are those things called? Not zipper ties. I can't think of the word for the things that hang off of a jacket. Then Clover had a show. This was a short. This was a whole show about the guy that invented U.S. Clay Target League. Super interesting conversation. An organization that started up, I think, in 2008, he said, in Minnesota, and gives schools, 1,500 schools now, an opportunity to have a shotgun sport at the school as a school sport. Very cool. No, it wasn't fringe. I can't think of the thing with the dang it. I can picture him in my head. I just can't think of them. But anyway, the things that hang off of clothes that would get in the trigger guard. Anyway, this was a good conversation with this dude, worth listening to, and very optimistic answers and insight to the repercussions or the consequences or the side effects of all these kids in the shooting sports. Lots of them. Really interesting conversation. Not the zippers. Here, let's just go watch her short, and she'll say it.
Keep your booger finger off the bang switch. Fingers are not the only things that pull triggers. Clothing pulls triggers, buttons pull triggers, drawstrings pull triggers. And the reason that this is such a concern when we're holstering a gun is because the trigger is exposed, so it's accessible to those inanimate objects. And because the gun is moving southward, which is the direction of a trigger pull. So if something were to get caught up in the trigger, as you were pushing the gun down, it would then pull the trigger as you forced it into the holster. This is why we don't holster blindly, quickly, or carelessly.
All right, so next up is the I got another video going? What was that noise? What time is it here? It was a weird noise for that late at night. Probably on them damn kids driving around with their radios in their car. One of them cassette players. Damn kids. So next we got the mouse party. That happens every Wednesday. If you're up in the middle of the night or you're listening to this show, that means you're an overnighter or a late nighter. Then consider checking out the mouse party. No script. And it's just a conversation each Wednesday overnight. Let's see. Then you have How to Buy a Garand from the Civilian Marksmanship Program, a little 3-minute video on the procedure and the requirements to purchase one. Then you get the actual overnight. The every other week show that happens. This one has a topic, and the topic this week was, well, was it all rifle calibers or was it 30 caliber rifle calibers? But it was rifle calibers. It was an interesting conversation. There's stuff to talk about there. Let's see. Next up is when we were watching Cape Gunworks on Tuesday, I think. They did the Grace Curley show and then stuck around and BS'd in the side chat or whatever you want to call whatever they call it after he does the radio show. He hangs around and chats with people. And Toby was talking about the old shop. And this was the first of Cape Gunworks has had 3 locations. This was its first location, sort of in a closet at their woodworking store. And then it moved to a second location that was an old bank. So it literally had a bank vault in it. And then they moved to the location they are now. And this is a video from 9 years ago where they're doing a crowdfunding effort to go from the closet of this shop into a larger location. And I'm a big fan of crowdfunding, as you may know. So I thought this one of the things I thought was cool about Cape Gunworks is that they are a true gun shop, started from the interest and passion of selling guns with a goal of having a destination gun shop with range and cafe and all the cool stuff that makes it a destination for an afternoon or a weekend. So really cool to see a 9-year-old video of a project that turned into what now is, 2 radio shows a week and a 20,000 square foot store with ranges and regular instructors, and building a reputation in the industry. Pretty neat. And speaking of that, you got the Cape Gunworks does the rapid fire radio show on Wednesday, but then they also host that 2A Tuesday segment of the Grace Curley show. So those are always worth checking out. There's no other radio show that spends as much, is able to spend as much time paying attention to the comments. He pays more attention to the comments than I do. And he's doing a radio show at the same time. So, and Toby doesn't, I'll blow people off. If you're weird around me, I'll just block you from my channel because I don't care. Toby's super nice about it. He's able to take some of the weirdest stuff that I would just block somebody for and, reply to it and make it useful. So it's really interesting watching his projects. Then you get into Michael Cargill, who was talking about the 100 anti-gun bills that have been filed in Texas. They also had the inventor of the SB brace, the first tactical brace or first pistol brace, that was on talking about that. So it was a pretty decent show this Sunday. There's a couple of different radio shows that I listen to each week. And then Come and Talk It also posted this brief 3-minute video or something talking about the multiple sale transactions that are required by gun shops whenever you buy certain guns, handguns, in a week. If you buy more than one handgun in a week, the ATF knows about it. It's been like that for years. And if you live on a border with Mexico, California, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas, anybody who buys rifles down here, more than one in a week, you're on lists also. All right, so then we have the military podcast that we listen to each week, and this one's okay. Combat Story is almost always one of my favorites, and this one was okay. Wasn't my favorite or nothing. It wasn't bad. Then Team House had a couple of things. They had this 17-minute clip from Pat talking about working in Europe that was pretty good, worth listening to if you haven't heard it. Just give you a good sample of what it's like listening to Pat McNamara talk. Then we had this guy who was Army and CIA. Pretty interesting conversation. There was actually a couple of others that I didn't get listed in here, but a couple of interesting conversations. The one that just happened on the Team House from that SEAL was one of the more interesting conversations I've heard in a while. Toby got some kind of an award. Yeah, the range got a 5-star award. So the NSSF, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, is the national level organization that's been around since, I don't know, like the 60s or something. I'd have to go look. And they've been around for a while, and their role is to be a liaison between, for the most part, be a liaison between the industry in general and the government, the regulatory and enforcement agencies. So that's what they do. They do all kinds of different petitioning and lobbying and awareness and education, and they've done things to defend us from pending political issues. Think of like Hunter's Orange. That wasn't the NSSF, but they've done, actually, was it? I think it might have been the NSSF now that I'm thinking about it. So they've done things like that, campaigns that gave us access to hunting grounds and kind of turned the tables on the people that were anti-gun and were using in whatever hunting issues they were coming up with to be anti-gun. Well, NSSF came up with the Hunter Orange and the inside the industry, or the industry-led campaigns that saved hunting, so to speak, or at least defended hunting against the persecutors of hunting. So NSSF's been around for a long time, and one of the things that they do is that role of like kind of industry liaison is the EPA is involved in ranges, and then of course safety is an issue with ranges, and then local zoning and stuff is involved with ranges. So if ranges can get some sort of a national certification, it would potentially ease the local issues that might exist with the range. And so they have this rating system to offer ranges. And Toby's, well, Cape Gunworks got the award, I think. But Cape Gunworks' range has meet whatever standards to be a 5-star range. Most ranges are 4 stars, so there's only a couple of 5-star ranges, period. So I guess that means they go above and beyond the normal 4 stars. I don't know what all involved. Hopefully he'll talk about it sometime on the show, though. Yeah, it's not a easy award to achieve. All right, so now we're getting into some of our stuff. I guess we're getting towards the end. I'll wrap this stuff up, and then we'll do the giveaway stuff, so you don't have to be hanging. So this is me and Clover talking about websites. Been doing coaching and stuff on Tuesdays. Anybody that's interested in creating content or taking your stuff to another level, let's get together and talk about it. Me and Clover are interested in seeing people do better. Having good information is what normalizes guns. Guns being normalized is what stops the people who hate our property and our rights. It stops them from being effective. When the people in the middle are no longer swayed by stupid garbage ideas that the antis throw out there, we all win. So that's what the whole idea is, to get people out there sharing your experiences and your voice. You can do it for money, that's valid, we're capitalists, or you can do it for fun, you're allowed to, right? You can do what you want with your spare time. Whatever your goals are, if the goals are in the direction of the Second Amendment, I'm helping you. And if they're in the direction of guns, then we all have an interest in seeing you succeed. So join us on Tuesdays, and that's what we talk about. I forgot what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. I probably should have set that up already. We also went live on this show one of the other days this week and talked about the 2A rallies this year. There's only 6 of them. 3 of them already happened. Let's see. Virginia already happened. Arizona already happened. I forgot the other one, already happened. You've got West Virginia coming up, I think, Minnesota, and Missouri. And thanks to Worthwhile for telling us about the Missouri one. And we just did that live. I'm going to be doing that probably more and more. I got too many tasks to do and not enough time to do them. So probably be doing more tasks during the show, or at least summarizing the tasks that get done that day in the show. And then one of the other things we did this week, earlier in the week, is on Sundays, we talk about patches. Our friends Alan Anchor are moving this weekend. What? Yeah, this weekend. They're not this weekend, but next weekend they're moving. So they've got all kinds of patches for sale this weekend. If you want to head over, they got crazy prices, crazy sale prices. Everything you buy from them is going to ship, as long as you buy it before Wednesday, it'll still ship before they move, and all that money will go towards their move. So if you're interested in a bunch of patches at crazy low prices and free shipping at $35 or more, go check out Alan Anchor, or go buy stuff from us, and then we stay in business, and we'll give you free patches constantly, and we'll give you even more free patches, and you get to pick your free patches. So what I did over here on the van is pull a bunch of my patches that were unique out of the van, because I was getting scared driving around with them all the time. I don't know if it was a good video or not, but now the patch collection's getting pretty tight. I pretty much have one more sort, and then the patch collection's complete on the new format or whatever. So kind of digging that. Let's see. Then we talked about crowdfunding. I don't know why that's in here, because I think that's actually 2 weeks old. So I don't know why that's in here. So that's it. That's pretty much what we or what I found this week that was interesting or focused on Second Amendment and worth talking about. We'll do a wrap up here, or a summary here. What am I trying to say? We'll do a giveaway here. We can also take a look at the poll. Well, we got a couple of votes, one for bad and one for okay. Almost all the rest of the votes went for good, and then a good chunk of the votes went for great. So 31% great, 54% good, 8% okay, 8% bad. All right, so what are we going to do? Oh, wait, I guess I'm missing some stuff over here. We're going to be putting our Armed Women of America chapter through low light drills tomorrow evening. Oh, really? That's interesting. DJ saying tomorrow we've got Ask Gun questions coming up. Thanks for that. Okay, I don't think I'm missing anything, but if I am missing anything, let me know. And now let's see, what can we do? We're going to go find, let's go get a random generator. We're going to do this. Is there a way to get this guy to be bigger? I don't think there is. He's kind of bigger. Nope. Okay. I think we can make this work. So let me close this. Present this one. So how do I do this? Hold on. Watch this. Hold on. Watch this. Wait. Boom. And then do, wait a minute. What just happened? Yeah, that happened. Now do this and then do this. Yep. And then do random. I think this is working. Yeah. And now if I go to random.org, then I'll just look right here real easy. No big deal. There we go. See, so now we got a random generator number. We got a puppy who's going to be the co-host. He's doing pretty good. He's been sleeping this whole time. So the first thing we'll do is bring this out here, and I guess I got to bring this out a little bit out further. Move this over a little bit. Come on, buddy. What are you doing? What's going on down there? All right. So this will be for She Fires, who I do not believe is out here right now. So we'll just be doing this for her. And then there was already a super chat earlier, and I think Barbecue gave me a super chat, and Krabby Turtle gave me a super chat, if I remember correctly, but on the other channel, right? So we're going to have those three. So this first one will be a random of 3 to be which one of the 3 patch panels here. See, that'll be the first 1, 2, and 3 on the bottom. So we'll generate that one first, and it's number 2. How convenient. All right, so now we're on patch panel number 2. What do we got on here? This one looks like it's been picked a little bit. I might have to combine some of these so that they don't have barren spots on them. Oh, no, don't mean to imply anything there. Got a Mercury. This one that I believe is some kind of a beer thing. But it says, I don't know what it says on there. Got the Canique proper, right? Got a Glock, car, some other ones, Hollow Sun, Tactical Games, Bushmaster, some other ones, another Hollow Sun one. This one stands for I was at my friend's wedding. Then we got down here, got this stuff going, SAR, some other things, this giant War Machine one that's pretty big, and this Benchmade one, not to mention down at the corner, an auto ordnance. All right, so how do we, let's see, how do we number these? I guess we'll start at the top here and just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That makes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Like we'll do it like that. So what are we looking at here? 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 13, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 32, 36, 38. We got about 42 patches, which makes Maggie happy. We'll go over here and push the 42 into here. We'll generate that. That works out pretty good. 27. That's annoying. Right in the middle. 2, 4, 6, 8, 7, 9, 11, 13, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27. Which one do you think she wants more? An alien gear or the SAR on target? She was at SAR show, so she could have either. I'm going with the alien because it seems cooler. And if she already has it or she doesn't like it, she could probably trade this one. Now, if she wanted the SAR one, I feel bad. But we'll find out maybe in the future. So thanks to She Fires for purchasing something over at the store earlier. Let's go ahead, since she bought 2 things, and do that again. So we're putting the 3 patch panels back together. And then a 3. And then generate. Back to number 2. So evidently it wants me to pull patches off of this patch panel. And I believe we just said the number was 42 that we're going to put in here. 31. All right, well, if that was 27, then 28, 29, 30, 31 would be this Benchmade one. I'm not sure if she got the Benchmade one or not, so I'm going to grab that Benchmade one, stick it to the back of this so that they don't fall apart from each other, and then put a note with it that says this is for She Fires, so I don't forget. Thanks again for purchasing something over at the store and getting some free patches. So let's put this patch panel back here. Check and make sure the puppy's doing all right. I believe he's doing all right. I'm going to refresh the store, just make sure anybody else bought anything over the store. More than welcome to buy stuff. You get free patches. You get to pick them yourself if you're here. By squishing the puppy butt. That's how I make the pages refresh faster. All right. So we're going to have 3 different people here. We've got, how am I going to figure this out? I have to go to the YouTube. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. If you have any questions or whatever, feel free to talk amongst yourself, ask questions, say stuff. I'll be going over to the YouTube, and then I'll be going into the YouTube, what's called the, what's this thing called? The studio. And then once I'm in the studio, they change the name to Earn. It's a weird name to name it. And then we're going to go over to, and I got to set up stuff still. That's lame. And then we got to go over to Supers, and then we'll click on this. And we have, in fact, a Krabby Turtle and an Anne Marie. I believe there was also a, what's his face on the other channel. Wasn't there a barbecue on the other channel? Oh, I got a question over on Instagram. So let me open up Instagram real quick. Oh, hold on. Let me delete somebody real quick. Well, it's taking forever. So now I'll open up Instagrams. Didn't I have the poll open a minute ago? Did I close it, I guess? Instagram, not YouTube. Well, it's taking forever. So now I'll open up Instagrams. Didn't I have the poll open a minute ago? Did I close it? Snaps. Over here, gift and memberships. That's risky. Did you guys already delete that one channel, or is that coming in from the other channel? Now I got to go to the other channel and look. So looks like Baron gifted a membership. I just noticed that over here. Didn't see that before. I don't know if you've done that ever. Thanks for deleting this one. So let me just go ahead and yeah, good. I think you already deleted them, so thanks for that. All right. So let's go back over to screen sharing. We got a couple of things we're doing now. So I'm going to close this window. Thanks again to Krabby Turtle for deleting that dude or gal or whoever that was. What am I trying to do? Oh, you know what? I'm screen sharing on the wrong screen. So I'll just jam over here and you can't see that. Dang it. Now I got to do this. And now you can kind of see it. But this is Baron over here doing a gift membership. So one, where's my thing? That's weird. That's not showing up. Why is it not showing up? Yeah, it's not showing up at all. Oh, I know why. Because you're seeing a snapshot, I guess, of before. Anyway, I'll quit worrying about that. Baron is over here gifting memberships. So memberships are, I don't know, like buying us a cup of coffee every month or something like that. And people would have to go do that. Well, if you don't want to go do it and you're just sitting here minding your business, somebody can come along and gift a membership, and then it just attaches to somebody randomly. So it says Gunpowder Beauty was gifted a membership, and then Mike White was gifted a membership. So here's how you get gifted a membership. If you're over there being butthurt because you didn't get a membership gifted to you. Oh, and then Sergeant Major Bulldog was. Oh, I guess you've been doing it for a while. See, I didn't even know that they don't show up on my StreamYard over here. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's nothing showing up on StreamYard when you do that. So, which is weird. You'd think they'd put that. It's called an API. Essentially, the feed that comes out from YouTube includes the text chat. And then StreamYard takes that API and gives us the ability to pop stuff up, like DJ saying 42 like this. But I don't see the gift memberships for whatever reason. I did see the super chat though, so thank you for that. So here's the deal. If you want to get a gift membership, you can't decide who it goes to, from what I understand. All you can do is gift it. So if you want to be an acceptant, if you want to accept it, if you want to get the gift membership, then you need to, one, you can't have a membership yet. And then two, you have to be active in the chat. And then three, I think you can't be a partner channel. You can't be a channel that has monetization. So that's the part that was bugging me. I was like, how come I'm never getting gifted members by anything? Because I was like one of 3 people in a chat one time and I wasn't getting the gift membership. So I switched to a different account that wasn't a partner and it gifted it. So the other thing is you got to be active. So if you're just sitting there, you're not going to get the gift membership. But if you're chatting, you'll get the gift membership. So there was somebody giving gift memberships to Shooting Gallery New England, I think. And it was like, I'm going to give out 10 memberships. And there was like 4 people in the room. So I jumped to another account and just jumping there, no membership. And then I think it was like the 4th or 5th comment, boom, the membership attached to me, one of the free ones. So I did a little bit of experimenting. So you don't get that you can't point it at anybody. And you can do things to enhance it. And there's a couple of things that your channel can have that won't let it happen. So anyway, that's super cool. Thanks for doing that. Essentially, he's throwing around $5, like he's got nothing to lose. So that's cool. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I get the funds as if there was a channel member. So thank you. YouTube is keeping a cut. And then people that are channel members will get, all the perks of being a channel member. There's special links and different special abilities. It's not like being a superhero, but it's like putting on a Batman suit or an Iron Man suit when you're a channel member on our channel. So, you know, like when you walk into a place and there's like a bird or whatever, a lot of times when you're a channel member, the bird will come over and like hang out by you and like land on your shoulder, let's say. Sometimes if you're a channel member, you'll go into a bank and they'll be like, would you like some sample $20 bills we just got? And they'll just give you $20, $40, maybe $150 worth of $20 bills. It's nice of them, but it's just the kind of perks that you can't guarantee you're going to get these as a channel member, but it happens a lot of times to channel members. So that's essentially what Barron's gifting out there. So pretty much everybody's getting these things. Looks like everybody's being a channel member. It's pretty cool. Thanks for that. So I'm going back over here, and now we've got 3 people who have super chatted us. And I don't think these things are showing up as super chats, dude. They're just showing up as channel member things. So maybe I should do a channel member thing. So let me go back to the super chat thing, which is essentially a list of super chats. Here's how my super chats go. January 20th, March 3rd, because of the demonetization situation. All right, and then, like I said, I'm pretty sure barbecue was over there. So first we're going to say 1 to 3 on here. I think I'm just playing screen sharing, right? Yeah. So we're going to go 1 to 3. Super weird the way I've got my screen set up right now. So I'm trying to keep track of which screen I'm even looking at. All right. So as a channel member, you also get a little patch next to your name, a gun channels patch. So that's why you'll see people now have gun channels patches next to their name. And it's a different color. You have to allow gifts. Oh, thank you. That's the other thing. That's right. That's right. There's a thing you got to go. Oh, man, I forgot. Yeah, I did a video on it. You have to go and right click on something and then choose accept or allow gifting. Yeah, I forgot about that. And that was another reason why people were getting like, man, how come I'm not getting my gift or whatever? All right, so how's this going to work? I'm pretty sure barbecue was the first one. So barbecue will be 1, Krabby Turtle will be 2, and Anne Marie is number 3 on this one. Boom. So it's Anne Marie. So now Anne Marie is picking. We have to, I'm sorry that a lot of times I'm told I'm not supposed to put a little puppy on the screen, but I'm putting a little puppy on the screen. And then now we'll do this. And now we'll go back to here. If I can figure out which way I did this. Yep. And the first thing, I'll do a 1 to 3. That'll be this one, and this one. 1, 2, and 3. So we'll do that first, generate, and we'll see which patch panel we're talking about. 3 this time. So now Anne Marie is picking off of this patch panel. We got this extreme tactical gear. I don't know what Thorn is. Some kind of, this one's been around for a while. It's got some different guns on it. Samson scavenger hunt one. One that says creature teachers. It's got a rattlesnake or something on there. This one says if you know, you know. And I don't know. So I don't know what that means. Does anybody know what this is? And then this is a AK. Some other ones. Got a dinosaur at lifting weights. Got an orange one. Got a LAS. Sports shop. No one is coming. It's just us. Got this different kind like this. Some kind of vehicle there. The Red October Kalashnikov Championship. One of the ones from SHOT Show 2020. SAR operator. This one here that's funny says something about, where's it at? When you shoot unsuppressed. You're saying pay forward the patches? I guess you can if you want. Not a problem. Is Hillbilly still in here? I don't know. Let's find out. bearing through $10 at us. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Went a month without monetization. I'm hoping they throw it back at us. So here's how it goes. Normally you get paid on the 20th, at least since 2009 or whatever. And I started getting paid from YouTube in like 2009 or 10. Maybe it was a little, I don't know, somewhere around there. And I think it was like the 20th of the month you get a check from YouTube. And it used to be real money. Like it used to pay a lot of bills. And now it's like a couple $100, but it's still a couple $100. And whenever they took out the monetization after SHOT Show, they're just like, and you don't want this money. So that no money came in last month. So it's been pretty shitty right now. But Hillbilly is out there. So we're finding out what's happening here. I'm going to move this off of the puppy. Again, apologizing to everyone who knows that you shouldn't have a little puppy on a Second Amendment show. This shouldn't be here. This should not be on this show. And then Roy is saying, see, I don't get the one from Roy over here, but here's Roy with the, here's Roy with member milestone. I have no idea what I'm. Oh, you know what it is? It's a free super chat, but I don't think I see him over here. Okay, so that means Hillbilly's getting some patches. That'll work out. So let me bring this off of here. We'll go back to the 3 patch panels, and now we've got the 1, 2, and 3. We'll do the hit the 3 here. Number 3. Is that the same patch panel? So now Hillbilly's getting a pick, his pick of the patches from this patch panel. Got a Mercury one going on here. CMC, Hollow Sun, Down to Hunt, Outdoor Apparel, UTG, RTS, this giant one that says War Machine. Franklin Armory. This is a place that makes a ballistic face armor, level 3 face armor. Auto Ordnance has an airplane, like an old warplane on it. Mustang, I guess. Got the Kalashnikov from Century. Hollow Sun, the Glock. Car Arms. This other Glock one, Tactical Games. The new GOA. This one with a volleyball on it. Uh-oh. Let's see, the Canik one. This one looks like, I don't know what that's supposed to be. The National Blaster of Texas. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Then Blue Force Gear, CMC. Got a carbon fiber thing there. This other patch that's suppressor baffles. This one says, do you know what Nemesis means? I don't know what movie that's from. Something. Right, so if you want to, and then Palmetto State Rifle Company. Drunken Tabletop Gaming. So if Hillbilly's out there and wants to grab one of these, I can't put it in the frame because my arm on my camera don't go up high enough to get it all in, really. I can get about to there. And then I don't need this on the screen anymore, I guess, so I could quit doing that, and that'll help. This PSA one, you got it, and I got to make a note to myself real quick to put this one to Hillbilly Up. So thanks to Anne Marie for passing it along, and thanks to Hillbilly Up for having me on the other day. He hosts a show every Saturday, kind of after G23 and after Brooke Cheney. And I need to not write G23 on here. I don't know if I got Hillbilly Up's address, so if you would, like, give me an email with where's a good place to send this. And the other stuff is going to She Fires, and I guess I got her address because she bought stuff. So again, thanks people for joining, for the people who super chatted. Now that we got our monetization back, and the people that joined us for the show tonight. It is, well, about an hour in. puppy's probably going to want to go outside now because he didn't. I was going to take him outside before the show, but he was sleeping so good. Although he doesn't look like he's really waking up. But he's got 2 foods in him and only one of the going outside and doing his business today. So he's going to go outside at some point here whenever he wakes up again. Uh-oh. Let's get you off my computer there, buddy. So we'll end this thing. I can bring this thing back down, show everybody puppy. And tomorrow's Travis in the morning. I'll be scheduling Ask Gun Questions with Tony Simon and Clover Tack. G23 does a show in the afternoon. Brooke Cheney does a show. You'll get the Polite Society Weekly Bullet on Saturday as well. I don't know who's on this week. It's snowing here, supposedly 6 to 8 inches. Holy moly. We had it snow the other day here, and in true Arizona fashion, at like 2 in the morning, I went out there to let somebody outside, and he didn't want to go outside because it was all... Is that you? Holy moly. That's horrible. Somebody's going potty. I let somebody outside, and it was middle of the night, and it was super cool. Everything was coated in snow, like if you lived up north. And then in the morning, it was still there. But then by 11, it was gone, completely gone. That's weird. I've only owned brand accounts can be used to join the channels. That's super interesting. I don't know. I just noticed when I went in here, though, before. Is this... Let me go to wherever it's still screen sharing. So... Whoa, oh, I just had that really big. So then this is behind the scenes on a channel that has a bunch of stuff on it. And you can do watch page ads, I guess. I don't know what that is. I got to finish setting that up, I guess. You got memberships. You got shopping. You got giving, which nobody does because then you give all your money away, essentially. Because I don't think you can give a portion. You have to give the whole thing away. And then you got supers, and then you got shorts feeds, which are new. So I don't know what watch page ads are, but I don't have that set up. And I may have my membership set up wonky because this thing was all just turned back on today. I forget when it got turned back on. Oh, that didn't work. Let me just get that out of there. So I have no idea what's happening. I just noticed that it was giving me that finish setup thing, and I didn't know I had to set anything up. And my control panels look much different after the remonetization. So my channel's 9 years old or whatever it is. So it's possible that turning my stuff off and plugging it back in gave me new dashboards and stuff that I'm still getting used to. So it could be on my end, but I don't know. And I haven't played around with channel membership enough. I think I'm a member of like pretty much all my friends that came over from Patreon that are on YouTube now. I think I'm members of most of them. But those I did a while ago, so I don't know. But I didn't have any trouble, I don't think, signing up for them. All right. You get a fee for every ad you let run in each video if they watch 30 seconds or more. Oh, that's what the deal is? I don't remember how they did it. Is it every 30 seconds? As far as the question about shotgun shells, they used to be more of a difference. And I think it was like the different calibers or whatever you want to say, like the different gauges were different colors back in the day. But it's not the case anymore. And I forget what the color codes were, but I'm pretty sure yellow was 20 and red was 12. And then at some point, they decided to not do that anymore. I don't know if anybody remembers that. like rule of thumb or whatever, but most of the time you find yellows, they're 20s, and most of the time you find reds, they're 12s. And then, oh man, was it browns or something, are 10s? But that might have been a company thing. Like each company might have had their own colors. But at some point they quit doing that. That was more of like an old-timey thing. Yeah, I remember something like that. I just thought there was more to it. I thought there was some other factors, but I haven't really looked into it for a while. There are some projects I'll be working on this year where we will be looking into YouTube stuff like that in more depth, and then I'll have a better grasp on it, hopefully. I think I'm going to end the poll, though. Thanks for everybody for voting in the poll. It seems to be a fairly good to great week, depending on who you ask. Only a couple of people said okay. I'll challenge that. I'll just say we still have an NFA, and just to be a jerk at the end of the show, we go to apathy so easy. We don't think about what they could be doing to us when they're not doing it to us, and we get really pissed off when they're doing it to us. But I think one of the best things we could be doing when we're off like this, when we're not at bat or whatever the words are, when we're not, on the offense, is we could be either creating our own offense or creating and ensuring consequences for those that wasted our money. We are too often satisfied to win a court case. We don't take it to them for bringing the court cases or harp on them for wasting all that money. So I think there's a lot more we could be doing. So as much as it is a good or great week because we're not getting attacked, I'm going to have to say it's an okay week because I just wish we would have spent way more effort organizing and taking the fight to them in, getting our lines built up and our defenses built up and education. We fall back to let's do nothing and fart around and just BS. So I appreciate everybody who is willing to let me bitch at the end of the show, but let's not be satisfied. Let's not be complacent. We just got done with Every Second Matters. The whole point of that is to never forget just how pissed you are when they're trying to take your rights from you, so that when we're in times like this, we can find that grit and work when it's so much easier to not work. It's so much easier to not do anything. There's so many good things this week. One of the things I didn't mention enough is the good stuff that we found when we were looking at the trace gun data and how it shows how so much of the gun control efforts are pointless. So many of them. And then Clover's conversation with the dude was a great conversation about, I was just thinking of it and I lost it. And then I actually had a really good conversation with folks from Rapid Fire Radio, where they were talking about the government in an interesting way. So lots of good conversations this week, lots of good points made. And so I'm not saying it's a bad week, but let's just be more ambitious and more thirsty for changing this whole thing. Instead of just winning fights, let's end the wars in a good way through education. And lots of great testimonials and everything. So I'm not putting down anything, but I'm just saying let's keep working too. All right, I'm going to end it. I'm going to throw a commercial up for our store. Thanks again to She Fires, who I can literally name. How many people can name everybody that shopped at their store this week? She Fires is the only one that shopped at our store this week. I really appreciate it. You're not just going to get those patches that we did randomly here. I'll find some others to give her as well, because I'm not entirely sure that those random patches she don't have from SHOT Show. Anyway, so I'll make sure that she gets a couple extras that she doesn't have from SHOT Show. And thanks again for the super chats. It's much appreciated. Nobody else is going to say thank you as often as I am, because it's literally paying some bills here. We'll be back with Ask Gun Questions tomorrow.